Alright, today I'm going to show you how to take apart a Husqvarna chainsaw. This is a model 455 Rancher, and basically what happened was it quit foot pumping oil onto the chain itself, and I had already taken it apart, fixed the problem, and I put everything back together, but I didn't tighten anything down. But I wanted to show just kind of how simple it is to fix something as that, and then give a person an idea. Now, first step in it is you have your cover, which there's 3 screws with a flathead screwdriver. You take that off. Like I said, I already took most of the stuff off or put it all back on and just let it sit there. Next step, you're going to pull your plug. And once you get that out, you'll be taking off your side panel here. And I always got a magnetic tray, throw stuff in. But everything will be quite dirty, and you have to use compressed air to clean it up. But you're going to have to take your chain and your bar off, of course. Once you get that off, now inside here is the clutch, and in order to get that off, what you're going to have to do is, with that plug out, is you're going to have to run your piston, which would be hard to see, but you run it all the way down. I guess one way to do it is stick a screwdriver in there and turn it, if you can see that. Turn that till your piston's all the way down, and shove a piece of rope down in nylon rope down in the chamber. And now once that's like that, piston will come up against that rope. And some of them, you know, you got a nut on here, you can use a wrench, but generally they say, if I can pick that up, it'll say what direction is spinning it off. And what I did was basically just took a wrench and then a pipe wrench on it and clamp that side down, because it's going to go kind of hard, or have somebody hold it and break that free. And when you break the clutch free, basically spin it off. Make sure you know how you take it off, so when you put it back on, you're doing it the exact opposite. And this will just slide out, and there's a little bearing, needle bearing, roller bearing. Take that off, and then once that's off, there's a flathead screw. That comes off. And this plate here will come off. Like I said, all this was very dirty, and I've already oiled everything up. Well, now you're into the stage where this is your actual oil pump. There's a rubber bushing here with it's actually a gear. And what that does is, when that's sitting on there, turning over, it's turning that pump, and that pump spinning, the oil's coming out and goes up through here into your into the bar. And you need to take this off. Now once you get this, well, if you pull this rubber line off, you know, inspect that for any cracks and clean. If you have to, you're going to have to order a new one and replace it, but I'm good there. This saw is probably 8 years old, and this is the first trouble it's really given me. And as far as not getting oil to the bar, and what I found out was it was just plugged. And use your Allen wrench, take this nut off. Now this pump should all pop right out, and you have your adjustment. I think there's 3 settings if you look down under your thing, and all the way one way is max amount of oil, then medium amount, and then the less amount. Of course I run it all the way, but that pump turns over, and there's an intake here where the oil goes in and the oil comes out. But anyways, what was wrong, if you're going to be able to see, right here is where the oil comes out of your reservoir. My guess, I got sawdust in there, and in order to clean that out, this screen right here, if you blow air in, as far as that screen, if you blow air in there, you're going to watch the oil come out. That, to me, is the quickest way to unplug it. There are some pieces that you might have to, you know, replace on here, if that would be the problem that you had, but generally it's that plugged, or maybe like this nylon gear wears out. But all that you should be able to get, you know, quite readily and order it. So what I'm going to do is basically go in reverse and put everything back together, and we'll try it out. Maybe I'll show you how to a good way to sharpen it. Well, put everything back together. Of course, you know, in order that you remove it. Sure, you go ahead, put that on first, or you're probably going to work. So, I'll do that. I'm slide it back on, set it backwards. No, this should go on. Yeah, here's turn good. And then you're off. Roll bearing. We're seeing on both sides. Now on this side. Gear goes on. There's 2 keyways that look like fit in there. Them basically slide over them 2 grooves, so your nylon bearing, you can see that, them 2 tabs sticking out, and then them, make sure when you put it on that fits on there like that, and then you spin your clutch back on. So that can go one of 2 ways. This here, of course, is the side that goes against it. That's the outside. You got, says off. I'm sure you know, get this 100% tight. That's the as you whatever saw. Pull your rope out. Install the plug. Now what I'm going to do is fire it up, put everything off, just to make sure I got some oil coming out of this. As you can see, beautiful. So, go ahead and put the chain back on, and we're back in business. One thing I wanted to show you, these chains, or the bars, there's 2 grooves, or 2 slots here, and what them are is they go up against, and that's where the oil seeps out of into there. If them are plugged up, you have to blow them out with compressed air. Them do get plugged up quite often, so it's a good idea to clean them out. Now, as far as sharpening a chain, I would recommend getting one of these tools that basically you run your file in, and it really helps with it. There's guys that run without that and just the file alone, but They obviously got a lot of good experience in that. The two main things with sharpening is, one, go at the proper angle. You got, I guess, a couple options. Generally on these this tool, there's some notches there, or some markings, and you can line that up. Just keep the proper angle, like at 25 or 30, or of course you go right on a chain. There's usually generally a line on them that you kind of got an idea where you go. And then the other key thing is, right on the end of this tooth, it'll be start beveling down a little. And from what I found, I mean, I'm sure it's the same on the side, but I don't worry about that so much. Is you sharpen, you know, run your file across lengthwise one way until that bevel is gone, to where if you shine a light just right, you'll see it kind of gives a reflection. And once that does not give a reflection, it's a pretty good bet your chain is sharp. The other thing to speed up or make the process much simpler is basically take a board, or this is an old landscape timber, and you cut a slot in it. Doing that, makes it a hell of a lot more rigid and sturdy, so you can actually sit there, you know, and sharpen without too much movement. So, but that's I guess a real quick demonstration on sharpening a saw. Go with them steps, have that thing, and watch that bevel and the angle. Generally you can keep a chain pretty sharp unless you cut through a rock or hit a massive amount of dirt.